Namaste Sydney, I'm Veena. I've been living in Sydney for the last 14 years and I love cooking. And today I'm going to be sharing a recipe that's a very adaptable recipe. You can have it for breakfast, lunch, dinner, or just as a snack. This is a recipe that's generally in India is used during fasting days because it's a grain-free, gluten-free recipe and it can be made vegan.
Namaste Sydney, I'm Sumitra. I've been in Australia for the last 40 years. I come from Bangalore, India. I love cooking and today I'll be looking into what Veena is cooking and I hope to guide you through this whole thing. Thank you. Yes, Veena. So what are you cooking today?
I'm making an amaranth and buckwheat flatbread.
Okay.
So the reason I chose these two grains, these are very high in protein and fiber content, and they're packed full of antioxidants. They generally had during fasting or upvas days, as you know. And so let me first start off with doing it because I'm dealing with flour. I'm going to be wearing my apron. I don't want to get my pretty dress dirty.
Do you want to wear that?
Oh, sorry.
There you go. It all matches very nicely.
Yeah. Thank you. And let me get my gloves on. These flours are not as user-friendly, or they're not as elastic as the wheat flour or the regular flour that you get. So they tend to get a little more sticky.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What is this amaranth seeds and how do they combine with buckwheat?
So amaranth, if you look at the flour, the amaranth flour it's not a very sticky flour.
Okay.
So the reason I use the amaranth with the buckwheat is the buckwheat gives that little bit of elasticity to it.
Okay.
So they stick together, and because when you're making the flatbread, you want them to bind really well. So buckwheat gives that extra binding.
What are the nutritional values of these things?
Well, they are very, very high in, like I said, they're very, very high in protein and fiber, antioxidants. They also are very good for building lean muscle. So,
I see you're using some vegetables in this. What do the vegetables do?
So traditionally in the upvas recipe, when they make it, they only use potato because that also adds to the softness of the dough. But I'm using the other vegetables as well because I like vegetables. I like this is a more adapted dish rather than a traditional dish.
Curious, where did you learn this recipe? When did this really? Is it a family secret recipe, or tell me more about this?
So I grew up in Mumbai, and a lot of my friends are Gujarati.
Oh, okay.
And they used to fast during a certain month, and they used to have fasting that would happen during Ekadashi and the cycle of the moon, the 15th day. So their mums used to make these things. Though I never fasted, I used to go and have the goodies.
So this dish you are saying is from the west of India?
But I've had it there, yes.
Okay.
So, and amaranth is a very popular seed that's used in Mumbai. In Mumbai, they puff up the seeds and they make laddus out of it.
Okay. So, some of these are considered as pseudo grains.
Yeah.
What do you mean by pseudo grains?
So normal grains like rice and wheat, they are grains that come out of grass. Pseudo grains are actually grains that come out of leaves.
Okay.
Big leafed plants. Okay. So, for example, that is the amaranth seed, and that is the amaranth plant.
Oh, nice. That's nice. That's good.
So that's where you get it from.
Yeah. So, does this grow very well in Australia?
Oh yeah.
How do you source amaranth in Sydney, for example?
So, if you're looking for the leaves, any of the Asian shops generally have it.
Okay.
If you're looking for the seeds, I found these seeds in Coles.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Buckwheat is found in Coles and Woolies.
Okay.
The powders, you sometimes find it in Coles and Woolies, but you can always get it, the flour, you can always get it in an Indian store.
So is there anything else you would add to this? I mean, normally Indian flatbreads are made with wheat flour or, some of these lentil flours. So would you be adding any wheat flour to this, and why not?
Recently, there has been a lot of talk about having gluten-free food and grain-free food and paleo and all those different kinds of things.
Okay.
So the reason I'm not, I'm actually using the flour, something that is gluten-free and grain-free, is to give that extra option for some people if they're interested in trying a different kind of grain, and this fills you up. Okay. And you really feel full after eating it.
So you mentioned something about fasting. What do you mean fasting food?
Okay, so generally this is what I know. I've never done traditional fasting.
Okay.
Because as soon as you mention fasting, I get very hungry. I'm a foodie.
Okay.
When a lot of people do fasting, they have a heavy breakfast, which doesn't contain any grains.
Okay. So this is where your pseudo grains come in to play.
Yes.
All right.
There is also if you don't find one of the flours, you can actually replace it. Especially if you don't find the amaranth flour, you can replace it with quinoa flour.
Oh, that's good.
Quinoa is a pseudo grain.
That's good to know. Yeah. Sounds good. So, tell me about the fasting.
Okay. Fasting. So they have this in the morning because it keeps you fuller for longer.
Okay.
And then during the day, they're only allowed to have liquids.
Okay.
So it's something to do with the cycle of the moon, and because when you have grains on the day, there's more water retention in your body.
Okay. So what about in the evening? On a fasting day, I'm talking.
Yeah.
What can I have? Can I have the same thing for the evening too, or would it be too much for the evening, night dinner?
Unless you look, I would say because it's not heavy on your stomach.
Yeah. Okay.
But you really feel full after you eat it. So it's not very heavy on your stomach. Ideally, if you eat 2 of these, you won't be able to eat anymore.
Wow, that's good to know. So
I've got the dough ready.
Okay.
So that's what the dough looks like.
Okay.
And the dough is a bit fragile.
Okay.
So when you're making the dough, the thing that you need to remember is you need to put water just a little at a time.
Oh, okay.
Not a lot of water. And I've got some extra flour. That's a buckwheat flour.
Okay, I was going to ask, is this...
I'm going to change my...
Here.
Because this become too sticky. I'm going to change my... gloves. Okay. So that's buckwheat flour, and I'm going to use the buckwheat flour to roll it. Okay. Just to dust the pan and then roll it.
Isn't rolling difficult with all the vegetables in it?
Because of the buckwheat and the potato. Okay. It actually binds. Look at how it stays.
So tell me something. The potatoes are cooked.
Yes.
What about the rest of the vegetables that you added?
So I've added grated carrot and I've added some spinach leaves, baby spinach leaves.
Okay.
So they're not cooked, but what happens on the griddle, that should be more than enough. Now there are 2 ways of doing this. You can actually just pat it flat. Okay. But I prefer using a rolling pin.
That was going to be my next question. You answered me before. That's good. So, okay. Does this come out like a perfect round, like how it's normally made, or it doesn't matter?
Well, in my house, they don't care.
Okay.
My husband says that, as long, anyway, we're going to break it and put it in our mouth. So he doesn't care. There's some people who do. Okay. Which is alright,
but they get that. They can get the perfect round also.
Not as perfect as when you make a fulka or a roti.
Okay.
Because of the nature of the dough.
Okay.
Because of the nature of the flour, it's a bit difficult to get that round because it breaks on the side as well.
Okay. I noticed that the bread is a little thicker than our normal breads. It's more like a paratha, stuffed paratha, rather than your chapatis, as we call them, or even your naan bread. So does it take longer to cook?
Not very long. Not as quick as a fulka, but maybe the same time as a paratha.
Good, that's good. And what else do you use in this to make? Can we use any other ingredients, or is it just the carrot and the spinach and the potato? Can we add any of? You have so many vegetables out here. Is there anything that can be added into to make this bread?
Well, you can actually add mint and coriander.
Lovely.
And just with the potatoes, you can add mint and coriander. You can add chilies if you like your food hot.
Oh, I love chilies.
Yeah, I'm not making it hot.
Yeah.
I've adapted to my daughter's taste now because she hates hot
Yeah,
food.
you've got to.
You can add to a lot of things. You can actually make it with beetroot.
I have a curiosity question. Can you add tomatoes into this?
I would not, mainly because tomatoes are more juicier
Oh, okay.
and they'll make.
Maybe you don't need water then?
But you can make tomato chutney.
Oh, all right. So we get the
Yeah, so you get the tangy taste of the tomato with the chutney, which is what I'm going to serve it with today.
I like the colors that you have on all the vegetables, and I think people say that the more colors that are there when you're eating each meal, the healthier it is. What can you throw some light on that?
Well, I like colorful food.
Okay.
And I love my vegetables. Even as a child, I used to love my vegetables.
Okay.
And my daughter is also coming from there. So we have.
It's good that your daughter loves vegetables, but that's not so common with younger children. Okay, how are we going with the bread? Are we ready to?
So we've got two ready.
Okay. Yeah, good.
And I preheated the pan, but it got too hot, so I turned it off.
Oh, that's okay.
So we're going to turn it on again.
No, the heat is still good.
Yeah. So
keep it on. Okay. So
put that
while
there.
I take over,
I'm just going to roll it a little thinner, so you have.
so
Yeah.
keep that.
And I've got a little bit of ghee on the side. So so when you're toasting it, you can put just a few drops of ghee, so it just enhances
My
the
question:
flavor.
you said it's good for vegan, and ghee is a no-no.
Yes.
What?
So ghee in Indian food, we use a lot of ghee.
So
But if you want, you can replace the ghee with maybe a margarine, nutmegs, or even coconut oil. That'll make it vegan.
can I help you with this?
Yeah, please.
You can sort of
So
guide me along. Let me try.
What I'll do is let me just add a few drops of ghee on both sides.
Okay, don't you spread the ghee? You don't have to.
Not with the spatula.
Okay.
You don't want to burn your hands.
No.
And then turn it around and do the same with the ghee.
Let me try. Tell me if yours is right.
You don't have to count. You just
sure?
put it
You're
on.
sure about it?
Yeah.
Then just do this. Okay, that's fine. I'll do this, and
Okay.
maybe you want to get ready with your dips.
Yes, I'm going to get the dips ready. I just move that out of this tray. I'm going to make a very, very simple dip today. It's easy.
Whoops. Okay.
Sorry.
That's good. The accidents happen.
But we didn't drop anything.
Okay,
So
good.
that's
Okay.
So
making it
because it's
easy?
got salt and potato and things, I'm going to make a tangy dip.
Okay.
So I've got some yogurt here,
Okay.
and I've got some grated beetroot.
Mm-hmm.
I've used a little bit of the juice as well,
Okay.
and it's got a little bit of salt in it. So I'm
Oh,
going to pour
look at
it.
the color. Why are you using beetroot? What's the value in having beetroot dip?
I like the sweet taste of it,
Okay.
and it just because that one does not have any big huge flavor right now.
Okay.
So I'm using this because it adds to the flavor. It gives a bit of sweet and tangy taste to it,
Okay.
and that's it. So your dip is ready, and this dip can be used with other things as well because I'm not adding any masala or anything to it.
Now we tend to associate lots of masalas and spices with Indian food, and I observe that you're not using these so many spices or masalas. Any reason for that, or is it that we do have the variations across the country? What is it?
We have that variation across the country, like you said.
Yeah.
And it's not just that. Generally, Uppas foods are not very high on masala anyway.
Okay.
They don't add a lot of spices anyway in it. And I've adapted my cooking style to my daughter's style, so I don't add a lot of masalas.
Okay.
But you can. I mean, in this, you can, if you're interested, you can add a bit of garam masala. You can add
to this?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds good. Yeah.
you can add a bit of garam masala, chili powder, or
You can make it spicy, you mean?
yeah, you can make it spicy. You can add spring onions to it, and then a bit of ginger garlic paste.
So you
to
can
it.
be adventurous, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Cooking is all about adventure for me. I've tried so many different things.
So, Just a curiosity question. Do you think it's done? Or?
Yeah, it's done. When you see the browns on both sides,
Okay,
it's ready to
it's
go.
ready to go. So, okay.
So you can put it on that, and then maybe do the next one as well. So, and meanwhile, I'll get a plate. We can put the flatbreads.
I hope I'm doing this right, Maria.
And I've also got some, when you mentioned tomato, I've got some tomato chutney as
Oh,
well.
lovely. And do you have the recipe for the tomato chutney? I mean, what kind of, how do you make that?
There is one on my blog,
Okay.
and this is very simple. It's one of the simplest tomato chutney that you can make. So I sauteed the tomato with red capsicum,
Okay.
and then pressure cooked it, then tempered it. After dehydrating the water a tad bit, you reduce the water,
Okay.
and salt, and temper it with mustard seeds and fenugreek
Okay.
seeds.
Oh, doesn't fenugreek seeds add a bit of bitterness to it?
Yeah, but that adds to the taste.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, and when it
I'll
actually
take your word
soaks,
for it.
when it actually soaks the tangy taste of the tomato, it doesn't taste bitter at all.
So tell me something. When you're tempering something, do you use oil or do you use
Yeah, I use
Or
sesame
different-
oil.
sesame oil?
Yeah, the Indian sesame oil. It's also called gingerly oil.
Okay.
So I use the gingerly oil, and then I use mustard seeds, a bit of the white dal, urad dal, and in this I've used curry leaves and a bit of dried chili.
Any particular reason you use sesame oil?
I prefer cooking with sesame oil.
Or what's the value?
It's
Compare it
not-
with sunflower oil or a vegetable oil.
Well, my mom used to cook with sesame oil a lot.
Yeah.
I like the flavor of it. It's a little different. I like the flavor of it, and comparatively, from what I've heard, it's healthier of the oils.
All right. Okay.
So I'm no nutrition expert, but that's what I've heard.
That's your.
And I like the taste of it.
Yeah, that's I think probably more like it.
Yeah.
The taste.
Everything boils down to the tongue.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, now the bread is ready, my dear.
Yeah.
And I have switched off the stove. I can see the steam coming out. I think it's ready, right?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
ready.
Let me here. Here we are. This is my 2 bobs worth of contribution
Thank
towards
you.
your cuisine.
So I got the dip ready thanks to you.
Good.
I'm doing a different kind of plating, how I present it to my daughter, because she likes a bit of fanfare to the whole thing. So that's how I present it to my daughter.
Okay. They're the best. Children are the best critics.
Yeah.
So I would say, yep.
They'll tell you flat on face whether they like it or not.
Okay. That's looking. It's 3-petal clover.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Flower, clover,
Whatever.
whatever she takes it as.
Okay. Oh, nice. That looks like
Tomato chutney.
the bindi that we wear.
Yes.
It's got the bindi there, yes, and it's red.
And that's the stem. And right now we are into butterflies. So we
are
have a butterfly.
Sounds good.
Oops. It's all about the presentation.
Right. So I'll move this for you.
And so we are.
Yeah, I know you're being silent, but I'm observing everything you're doing so keenly. I love the creativity that you're showing, and look at the colors that you have. And this is the final touch, or
Yeah.
no, it's got a few more.
It's probably got a little bit of dots.
Okay,
To
a few
go.
more dots to go. Sounds
Yeah.
good.
There we go. And
Yes. Oh, what's that?
that's just the beetroot juice.
Oh, right.
Just to add a bit of color to it. And ta-da! That's your flatbread with a beetroot dip and a tomato chutney.
Wonderful. And
And
Yeah.
generally
It
parathas
looks so
are handmade.
appetizing, and I think our viewers will be very happy to see this, and it's so easy to make, and I'm going to go home and try it. Thank you, Veena. It's such a wonderful dish, and thank you for showing me something new. I learned something new.
Thank you,
every day is a learning
and maybe you
process.
can have a try. We have, maybe you can try it with the dip. There we go.
Oh, this is really good. Okay, let me try. I don't want to disturb all this, so what I'm going to do is take a bit from here and that's perfect.
Thank you.
I know you shouldn't talk when your mouth is full, but oh my God, it's yummy. It's very nice and so simple. And God bless you.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
God bless you with your blog. Tell us more about your blog,
Definitely.
and send us a link to your
I
blog.
will. I think it'll be. I'll be putting it in the chat room along with the video. So let's see.
Well, to tell you a secret, so I have a Facebook page also, and I'm into this cooking and different dishes, and I love Indian pickles, so my is more about pickling in different pickles. So yeah, it'll be interesting for us to come together and combine. And
Definitely,
see how we
paratha and
can get-
pickles get along really well.
Absolutely, that's what I was going to say. That's a perfect combination. And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Namaste, Sydney.
Namaste, Sydney.
Pleasure. Thank you.